You're probably wondering why there is a fish tank in the shed. There are a few reasons for this. The first one is, I actually found this tank. I tested it and it is in full working order. As you can see, the light is functional. Well, you can almost see that the light is functional. The second thing it's in here for, it was being used to blackbeard moss everything, because it seemed if I put stuff in here, the moss died, which is great. And the third reason is, I have put a load of my snails in here. The snails are breeders and they do breed. They breed like crazy. There's no heater in this tank. The light is on a timer. It does have a filter in it. You can't see it at the moment. As you can see, it needs a ruddy good clean. So I'm going to give the glass a clean, and that's it. That's all I'm doing on this tank. I'm not going to do... It had a water change about a couple of weeks ago, but there are no fish in it, so the water change doesn't need to be done that often. So let's get started with the glass cleaning. That glass is manky as anything. I have no idea why. That's because I introduced the blackbeard into here. The moss has just gone absolutely crazy. As I said, there are no fish in here, so I don't have to be careful about tools that I use and stuff like that. Ooh, that is nasty. No idea why it's gone nuts like this. As you can see, there is a plant in there that was put in there to try and get rid of the blackbeard moss, but it's not working anymore. I don't know if you can see that. It's running rampant is what it's doing. As you can see, it's got an air filter. Although the water isn't heated, it is quite warm. Which I'm quite shocked at. But then it is quite warm here in the shed. Sorry, Mr. Snail, but you're going to have to get off the glass. It doesn't smell, so the water is still good. Look. There's water in the tank. I can see through the glass. Right, that's the inside done. Now remember, there are no fish in this tank, okay, so it doesn't really matter what I dip in the water. I do change not all of it, I do give this a water change once a month-ish. I just do like a 50% change. And what I've started doing in order to try and kill the blackbeard stuff, the moss, is I don't dechlorinate. The snails don't seem to care, and as far as I can tell, nor does the blackbeard moss. I'd love to put that plant back in the big tank, but until it becomes moss free, or close to it, I'm not going to. And those electric noobs of you out there are probably screaming at me, well, that works that close to the sockets. I've been working with electrics for many years and it doesn't bother me. There's nothing at all that I can do to dislodge this stuff. If anyone's got any ideas, please give me a shout and I'll use it. I might actually start leaving the light unplugged. Maybe that'll help. The shed does get some natural light because I've put a skylight in, but other than that, it should hopefully kill the stuff off. Maybe that's what the problem is. And having the light come on, I was doing it in the hope that it would help, but obviously not. It's obviously exasperating the situation and making things 50,000 times worse. Let's pop the lid back on. I'll pop the light on for now, so you can see the glass is clean, the water not so much. Obviously I've disturbed all the moss in there, so it's all now floating around in the water. I was hoping the snails would breed like crazy and this could be a major demossing tank. Well, I'll come back to that a bit later once the water has settled. Yes, I have seen this bit that I've missed. Yeah, you know what moss is, algae's like, you never get it all. But I am going to switch the light off in there because it's obviously causing a major outbreak of algae and moss. But that's the shed tank and the explanation for it. It's been in the background of a few videos and it doesn't have any super use other than those that I mentioned. And as I said, no fish are kept in it at all, so the fact that it's in the shed doesn't affect it in any way, shape or form. But that could also be causing the problem with the moss and the algae. You never know. It may like dusty and horrid environments, although the lid is kept on it 99% of the time. Obviously no feeding is done, so it doesn't need to be opened. Anyway, that's the tank in the shed. And now I'm going to leave the light off, and we'll come back to that a bit later maybe, when the water's settled. As you can see, now the glass is nice and clean. It's been a couple of hours, and the water's cleared up nicely. I'm hoping now I'm not going to have the light on all the time. Well, not all the time. It was on from 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening. I'm hoping that if I don't have the light on, all that blackbeard moss and that blackbeard moss will go away. I guess we'll see. Time will tell. Well, for those of you wondering, that is why there is a tank in the shed. Come back next time.